As you probably know, the unofficial national anthem of Australia is called Waltzing Mateldia. During the First World War, the Australian and New Zealand troops who fought with the Allies were called the Anzacs, and they were sent off to war with the strains of Waltzing Mateldia ringing in their ears. They were sent into a place in Europe that was considered to be an easy part to get into at the time, into the Dardanelles. They tried to make a landing at a place called Suvla Bay, Gallipoli. Suvla Bay is a fairly small stretch of beach surrounded by a great horseshoe of cliffs. What they didn't realize was that the Turkish guns were in place on all the rocks overhead. As the Australians came in for a landing, the guns opened up. They were like sitting ducks. They were wiped out by the hundreds and by the thousands. They say the sea turned red with their blood. Because the world had never seen anything like the slaughter of the First World War. And most of the young men who went in had high romantic, naive notions about what the glory of war was like. Most of them didn't even know what the hell they were fighting for, on any side. The only ones, I suppose, who really did know what the First World War was all about were the fellas who were making the money out of it, the arms makers, the manipulators, the ones who always managed to make the money out of it. The ironic thing is the way they stirred up patriotism, the young fellas who were going off to die with such innocuous songs as Waltzing Mateldia. Now when I was a young man, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life of the rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. And in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun. And they sent me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Mateldia as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amid all the tears, flag waving and cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli. Well, I remember that terrible day when our blood stained the sand and the water, and how in that hell that they called Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Tark, he was ready, oh, he primed himself well. He rained us with bullets, and he showered us with shell. And in 5 minutes flat, we were all blown to hell. Nearly blew us back home to Australia. And the band played Waltzing Mateldia when we stopped to bury our slain. And we buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs, and it started all over again. Those who were living just tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. And a big Turkish shell knocked me arse overhead, and when I awoke in my hospital bed and saw what it had done, and I wished I were dead. Never knew there were worse things than dying. For no more I'll go waltzing Mateldia all around the green bush far and near, with the hump tent and pegs A man needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. They collected the wounded, the crippled, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Sublime. And when the ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where my legs used to be, and thank Christ there was no one there waiting for me to grieve and to mourn and to pity. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. But nobody cheered, they just stood there and stared, and they turned all their faces away. So now, every April I sit on my porch, I watch the parade pass before me, and I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, renewing their dreams of past glory. I see the old men, all tired, stiff and sore, the weary old heroes of a forgotten war, and the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question, and the band plays Waltzing Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But year after year, the numbers get fewer. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? And their ghosts